So let's begin the journey on the key macroeconomic indicators. As I mentioned earlier, the first quarter of 2025 experienced a growth of about 5.3% in the GDP. Now, GDP is the gross domestic product, which means that that is the value of goods and services produced during the year under review. And so, if you're in public sector accounting and finance, one of the indicators that we are going to be using in analyzing the financial performance and position of the government is something like debt to GDP, okay, tax revenue to GDP. And so the value of the GDP is pretty important. And if that figure is going up, it's a significant indication that yes, people are doing more. There is more growth in the economy. And by virtue of that, government is also likely to earn more money in the form of direct taxes, indirect taxes. Then consumption of goods and services are likely to also go up at the end of the day. Now, there are various sectors contributing to this, like the agriculture sector. The service sector contributes the largest share because, over the years, the service sector has been the sector contributing to the GDP. And this is not surprising because if you consider various countries across the world, the significant contributor of the GDP is actually the service sector. So other countries such as the UK and the US also see significant contribution to their GDP from the service sector. And so it's not surprising that here in Ghana, we see about 47% in absolute terms contribution coming in there. So yeah, that's a good indicator for the economy. But we need to look at how that translates generally to other indicators, which we will look at in a moment. Number two is inflationary pressures. Inflationary pressures significantly eased during the period. Consumer price inflation declined from 23.8 to 13% in June 2025. Now, this simply means the rate at which the price of goods and services increases. That is inflation, right? And so this is what you must understand. The inflation rate reducing does not necessarily mean that the prices of goods and services should be reducing. It simply means that the rate at which the price will increase has reduced. So let's take it again. So previously, at 31st December 2024, the inflation rate was around 23.8%. However, by 30th June, it is now 13.7%. It means that, yes, the prices of goods and services can still be increasing or is still increasing, but the rate of the increase is just 13.7%. Because one of the misconceptions that people have is that, yes, inflation rate has dropped, so the prices of goods and services should drop. No. The factors contributing to the prices of goods and services reducing is not only about the inflation rate. And that is what we need to understand because, there are a lot of issues that have come up and people are saying that, hey, inflation rate has reduced from 23.8% to 13.7%. Why are prices not reducing? No, prices are not supposed to be reducing because inflation is not about reduction in price. Inflation is about the rate of increase in the prices. So it simply means that the prices will be increasing, but not as fast as possible. And the reason why this is important is because sometimes propaganda, politics, and others make some of our leaders mislead us, and also some people, the populace, mislead us to say, hey, inflation has dropped, so prices of goods and services should drop. No, there are other factors that could contribute to reduction in prices of goods and services, and that has to be primarily the cost of production, the cost of consumption, and things. Because if the prices of the things that I'm buying is still going up, then when I'm selling, I'm also going to sell at a higher price, right? But it's a good thing because if the increase was 24% absolute terms, now it is just 14%. A 10% drop is good. So the rate of increase has reduced a little bit. That doesn't mean prices should fall. And that is something we need to understand as professionals when we are debating this, so that we don't mislead people to say, inflation rate has reduced, hence prices of goods and services are supposed to be reduced. No. The next thing is interest rates. This is critical because interest rate followed a declining trend. And now has reduced to around 14.7% as of June 2025. Now, there are two things you must understand here. On one side, is a good thing because it means then that the average borrowing rate is going to be reducing. That will be the idea, right? So it's a good thing at the end of the day. But there is also a negative side. It means that the investors, those who are putting their money down, will be losing money at the end of the day. So, some people are benefiting, others are losing money, but we need to find a balance between the two. And so Ghana's reference rate was 29.3%, now to 24%, right? Which is a reduction. So it tells you that banks are also going to be lending at relatively lower rates. But the reference rate is still 24%. That is huge. Okay. I don't know, but I wish, I dream that one day we will get to a point where our interest rate will be like a single digit. Imagine that day. Because if companies, foreign entities are borrowing in their country at 5%, at 7%, and you are in Ghana and you are borrowing at 30%, 38%, 40%, how do you compete with such companies? No wonder our economy is flooded with a lot of foreign entities. Why? Because they can get additional capital at relatively lower interest rate. Whilst in Ghana here, you want to borrow money, the rate is around 38%, 40% with a lot of collateral requirements. And that is the issue that we need to understand. But hey, as Mr. Joe Jackson will put it, we are no longer in the ICU. We are now in therapy. So hopefully, as we move ahead, there will be improvement in some of these things. Then there is a decline in interest rates resulting in the saving of 41.9 billion on domestic interest payments as of this period, underscoring the positive impact of prudent debt management policies. The Ghana cedi demonstrated exceptional resilience and strength in the first half of 2025, experiencing significant appreciation against all major trading currency. Now, this is where many people have issue with the current government. Because the largest opposition party, the MPP, one of the things that they talk about is, hey, tell us, what one policy has this government put in place that has caused the Ghana cedi to go up? And sometimes you watch the interview of some of these people talking and you wonder the rationale behind their point. Yes, there are various factors contributing to the cedi performing the way it is performing. Some of the reasons were given or were cited. Number one is the strong fiscal consolidation, tight monetary policy, improve external sector balances, renew investor confidence, positive market sentiment, credit rating upgrades, and the successful conclusion of the fourth review of the IMF-supported program. But this is a challenge here, that although the Ghana cedi has appreciated and the interbank rate is around 10 point something, people are complaining that when they go to the bank, they are not getting the dollar to buy. Instead, they have to go to the black market to buy the dollar. But this is where I need some education, right? I need some education. Because if I buy something from somebody in China and I need $100,000 to pay the person in China, I don't need $100,000 physical money to carry that money and ship it to China. I just go to the bank and they will give me a rate. Then I will give them Ghana cedi equivalent of that money, and they will send the money to the person I owe. Is that not how payments are supposed to be made? So I don't know, but I need some education. Those who are importing, how does it work? Because when I'm making payment, I go to the bank, whatever rate that is available, I give the Ghana cedi equivalent and they wire the transfer to make the payment. And so if you are saying that you go to the bank, you are looking for dollar, but you can't get the dollar, and so you have to go to the black market to buy the dollar at 13 or at 14 before you can use it to pay your suppliers, I don't get it. Is it that you need a physical dollar to put it in a bag and ship it to China again, I don't know how this works. That is why I'm saying that I need education on this. So I need somebody. Maybe you can explain to me in the comment section about this argument, because I don't know why you will say you need to buy the dollar physical money and ship it, use it to pay somebody. I think my take is you carry Ghana city equivalent of that to the bank, and the bank sends that money, electronic wire transfer, to whoever they are supposed to pay, or to the supplier. So I need some education on this. But that is one thing you must understand: the appreciation of the Ghana city. And per this, it has also resulted into our reserves, okay, the gross international reserves, providing Ghana with about 4.8 months of import cover. In other words, Ghana can pay for their import in the next 4.8 months. As of December, it was around 4 months, but now 4.8 months. So that's quite something, a marginal increase that has to be celebrated. So these are some of the economic indicators that we need to be mindful of.